some noise for the hippies!
It's a toy!
It's death, okay? Land Rovers.
Stop sitting in front of cars, please. Oh, come on.
My name is Alhan Gençay, a beige man on a mission to discover the whitest tribes of Britain and understand their curious ways. Join me and my friends as we bravely step foot outside of London and meet the native peoples of this green and pleasant land to find out if it's all right to be white. In this episode, I try out an extremely white leisure activity, saving the planet. Now, I'm not saying that ethnic minorities don't care about climate change, but what I am saying is the police give us enough stress driving down the road. Imagine if we started gluing ourselves to it, like these lot. So is the planet really fucked? Or are these Trustafarians just jealous that some people actually have jobs to get to? To find out, I came to a place called Staffordshire.
Shut up.
To meet a bunch of hippies who live in the forest. Some Airbnb tree shit.
Hello?
These lot are trying to stop a high-speed train line called the HS2. They say that it will destroy the ancient woodland, but the train company says that they'll plant new ones. Who the hell wants ancient woodlands when the train company is promising box-fresh 22-plate trees?
What's that Channel 4 show? Grand Designs.
These lot have run out of stuff to gentrify, and they've landed at the trees.
There's a saying that if a tree were to fall in the woods and no one was around to hear it,
Yeah.
you know where I'm going with that, innit?
Yeah.
But would you lot cry? Like,
But
is there showers?
No, not yet.
Yeah. You lot are putting the stinking Extinction Rebellion. Can you give me a tour?
have a door.
Oh, it stinks! You lot actually shit there.
Yeah.
Are you lot vegans?
Freegan. If I got it from a bin, then they'll happily eat it.
At night we'll go to the bins, and this is how we eat, you know, cheap.
It's a celibate camp, you know?
Huh?
Celibate camp, yeah. That's
Celibate?
Yeah, that's how...
You're not mad?
It is upsetting when you see your home taken down. It is upsetting.
Yeah, but it's not your home.
This is my
It
home.
is,
I live here.
Nah.
Yeah, it is.
How did you
Yeah.
wank?
It's actually much too communal often to do that.
You can't wank. Go yard, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I went a bit too ham on these guys, because just as I was wiping my ass in the ensuite,
So how does this toilet work then?
they told me that the interview was over.
So yesterday, the hippies kicked me out their headquarters. We've come here like 2.5 hours out of London to actually make a documentary. Like, cool, it's light-hearted, and we ask dumb questions. So what? You have an opportunity to really share your calls. And a lot of people at home watching this will have no idea that, you know, HS2 are ripping through woodlands. The UK doesn't actually have a lot of green space left. And it's annoying because I would actually like to learn more about what they're dealing with, but they don't want to have these conversations.
Are you the people that were asked to leave yesterday?
Yeah?
Well, if you're asked to leave, it's a bit rude turning up in force.
Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Because you lot get asked to leave all the time.
I felt bad for violating the tree lot, so I decided to try again. It's highly unlikely, but maybe the problem was me. I came down to a massive protest. Extinction Rebellion, the headline act of climate change, are shutting down central London. This time, I've got an open mind, and I'm dressed to blend in,
Yeah, Satcho Bob.
and I'm not asking any difficult questions.
What's your name? I see a bunch of guys in lab coats. Are you actually a doctor?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a PhD in ecology.
What is the science behind climate change and are we fucked?
Totally. I mean, the science is really solid on this. We're not going to be able to grow enough crops. Mass starvation, potentially.
Yeah. So what's the plan of action for today?
To get government to take notice.
Are we going to see any
I'm not
MPs?
100% Well, we're not going to see any MPs, no.
Oh, no.
But,
And who's most affected by climate change?
It's the poorest in society who are most vulnerable because they have the least resources to deal with it.
Is it so like I thought this was like a rich people's thing. Do you think a lot of the people here kind of resemble, what was that, Boris Johnson?
resemble Boris Johnson.
Yeah, everyone's kind of posh, but they just pretend to be scruffy.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, the people who have the time to put into campaigning often are people from slightly more privileged backgrounds, right?
What about the people that, you know, are trying to get to work today that will be affected?
We've got to cause disruption because there's nothing else that they'll listen to.
I was making progress with the hippies, but I didn't want to piss them off again.
Can I get a de-escalator vest?
So I decided to make myself useful.
Nice to meet you,
What's
my
your
guy.
name, mate?
Al. Yeah.
Mine's Raf.
Okay, Raps.
Hi, Al.
I'm a motorist myself. And obviously the main thing is, you know, when blocking traffic and stuff, so I'll be like I'll be like a negotiator with the drivers and stuff. I think it's important. I've been in the woods for the HS2 movement, and they were living up in Staffordshire.
Have you done NVDA training?
What's NVDA? I've done DVLA.
Okay.
We have a very particular way of working. Right, I'm sorry it's so small.
That's right, breathe.
Have a little read of that.
Amongst this sea of whiteness, I found a beige brother. His name was Yaz, and I told him, Teach me.
So what I'm going to talk to you through is the basic 5 different steps that we try and do all throughout the day.
Oh yeah? So what's that then?
Is to breathe. When somebody comes out of a car with you, like raging, it's really natural to want to respond defensively.
So shut up, you black cabbie. Like, do you need windscreen wiper fluid in your car?
Because when people are in that headspace of being really angry, they actually are really happy just to hurt somebody and run them over. If somebody's got a massive emergency, then we can maybe help them turn around. If somebody says, like, my daughter's sick in hospital.
So I'm sorry about your daughter.
Yeah.
Sorry that your daughter's going through what she's going through, but just stay here for a bit.
Imagine receiving that.
Yeah.
That would be really antagonistic, wouldn't it? Because it's like, I'm sorry for your daughter, but I don't actually care. And you make them really feel like you're holding how they feel.
Oh, we don't actually care. Like, we're just pretending.
No, of course you care. You have to tap into real empathy.
Sorry, serious question. Would we let him through? So I'm greatly appreciative of the time that you're giving me. So
We usually have like hour-long trainings.
Yeah, no, fuck that, fuck that. Don't take the piss, yeah. No.
All right, crash course. Here is your white beard man.
Well, I got one.
Yeah,
I'm part of you lot.
Yeah. We've got colourful jumpers and white bibs today.
Yes, yes.
That's it, I was in with the hippies. They'd made me a fully qualified pacifist, which is a posh way of saying pussy.
So Yaz has brought me to the front of the march, and they're about to piss off some drivers. If you look to your left, there's a bunch of drivers. Oh no, they've started.
Time to use the techers that I learned in training.
Sorry, they'll be here for a few hours. Turn your engine off.
No, don't say that because we're not here to tell you.
Okay. No, this is fucking chaos, fam. So we're using NVDA, non-verbal... Non-violent what? Non-violent direct what? You're getting Harrods. By the time this is done, it might be shot.
How big is it?
How long will it last, roughly? Yeah, the world's gone really bad. So you're gonna have to sit here for a bit. Think about everything that you've done. This is mad. Can I honk the horn? Yaz, he's antagonizing him. Thanks for oil. Love your horn. Oh, Yaz, come on. I'll protect them, but he's just asking to get banged in the face. Taxi's already doing a U-turn. Is it electric? Oh, yeah,
Nah, none of this fucking bullshit hybrid electric shit.
No?
It's not.
Oh, sorry, Yaz.
Yaz was so confident with the boy, he even let me roll on my ones.
I know you're working really hard, and I know you're trying to make money, but these lot couldn't really give a fuck. Well, I got to tell you to breathe.
Breathe?
Yeah, you got to breathe. Breathe. Yeah, make sure you breathe.
Yeah.
I know the food's getting cold, but so's the planet.
It's the other way around, it's getting hot.
Oh, it's getting hot, sorry. Yeah. There's more important things. The polar bears are dying.
You winding me up?
I was doing such a good job that this largely white tribe of hippies had finally accepted me as one of their own.
Have you still got a megaphone? Can I say some stuff? Yeah. When I say extinction, you say rebellion. Extinction! Extinction! Listen, John Lewis, their sandwiches are £5. You can make one at home for much cheaper. Ain't that right, Extinction Rebellion? All right, make some noise for the hippies. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I hadn't seen the police treat people with this much respect since them Donald Trump supporters stormed the Capitol.
Why don't we just arrest them all? I know why. Because they're all white, they can get away with it, innit? If they were black and brown, they'd probably be in handcuffs.
Seeing as they hadn't made any arrests, the feds got their flowers.
Come on, take one. You gonna put it in there? Like that? It suits you. Last time I had a plant with the police, they locked me up for it. It's a daffodil. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it that you're doing?
Say that again?
What is it that you're doing with flowers?
It's a peace offering.
No, it's not a peace offering. The
Why?
police are not our friends.
Oh.
This is the state oppressing us and the voice of climate justice.
Sorry. Here's a flower. I've got a de-escalation card as well, so 1 minute. Okay, make sure you breathe.
My peace negotiation skills were clearly exceptional, so I decided to push my abilities one step further. I'm bringing down Rover Mum, aka Sherilyn Speed. She recently played real-life GTA with a bunch of climate change protesters.
Yes, Rover Mum. What's going on? Telling me. How are you? I'm alright, you? You've lost your license and that now.
I have 12 months, yeah.
What? You got a 12-month ban?
Yeah.
I feel for you. Obviously, you barged them as well.
It was a nudge.
My son is 11. He needs to get to school and I need to get to work. Move out of the way.
Hey, look, that's it. Push him. Go on. Push him. Get out the road, you silly.
Now, alright, Sherilyn shouldn't have lost her cool, but let's have it right. A bunch of middle-aged, middle-class white people stopping a young black boy from getting to school is jarring.
But I was trying to get my son to school and get to work. And my job, you know, it's a very serious job. I've got a mental health service, and I had young people I was working with on that day with severe mental health issues.
Right.
So I didn't want to let them down. I wanted to get to them and help them, plus get my son to school.
You're a working class mum. You actually saved up your money, and the Range Rover was a treat to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should have a peace treaty, and everyone comes together.
Okay.
All right, let's get it cracking. Let's go chat to these lot, man. So Sherilyn famously, you know, nudged some climate change protesters with a Range Rover.
Okay.
I don't know if you see saw the viral video.
I know of it, yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with Range Rover?
I
Mum?
am, yeah.
Excuse me. Can I give a speech?
Yes, please.
I can see now the planet is in crisis, but I can also see that people need to get to work and sometimes the gym. Hippies, I have brought before you here Range Rover Mum. Listen, I know you're scared of her, but do not be afraid. She's on a driving ban, so she's not hitting anyone today. Range Rover Mum has some stuff to ask of you guys, and if you guys have any requests of her, we can put it down on our Treaty of Peace, signed by Extinction Rebellion and Range Rover Mum.
Maybe you can educate me more on your cause and
Yeah. We've got mass extinction at an unprecedented scale, and if we don't stop the planet warming, we're going to wipe out most of the human population, we're going to wipe out most of the animal population.
It is important that there was a child in that car. That young person's life in 20 years' time is going to be unrecognisable to the society that we live in right now.
But if I'm not aware of that and I'm not educated on that, how am I going to know? Wouldn't you want people like me on your side? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you want me on your side, I need to understand. I need to understand it, so I don't have the knowledge of it, and not many other people do.
I'm here to make peace between your warring tribes. Yes. So we've gone round and we've met some of Extinction Rebellion, and we've come up with a few terms.
Stop sitting in front of children. Let's get into school.
The first one, you stop sitting in front of cars, please. Oh, come on. And Range Rover Mum has also asked that there's more communication and you go to places where the kids can actually learn. Youth clubs, community centres. Yeah.
Why don't you set up workshops? Why don't you go into children, into schools, into youth clubs, into the community and speak to people? Yeah. You've got to come down to the ground and engage with
Well, they were on
people.
the ground.
I mean, on the literally.
And Addy, it's only fair that we have a term from Extinction Rebellion to Range Rover Mum, so what would that be?
No violence.
Oh. Let's get some noise for non-violence. I said, let's get some noise for non-violence. All right. So if you can both put your name there.
Yeah.
We've brought peace between XR and Range Rover Mum. Looks good to me. Have you got a fiver? Or Uber?
I had time to perform one last miracle. I convinced Range Rover Mum to go fully electric, but legally it had to be a toy car. And like Moses, I parted the sea of hippies. They might be a bit too white, they might be very, very annoying, but they believe they're doing it for our future. But maybe, just maybe, they're also a bit angry that some of us have actual jobs to do. Because just as we were trying to get our final shot...
Oh, brother, don't do that.
Please, sir, can you... No, I object to Land Rover.
And these lot have got an obsession with getting in front of Land Rovers, so they've got back in front of our range. I understand, yeah, and I acknowledge what you're telling me about Land Rover. And you know what? I somewhat agree with you, because I don't think their cars are up to scratch.
It's a toy.
You think this is funny.
It's not merely...
Okay, it's death. Okay, Land Rovers.
Well, it's a fully electric vehicle, so, you know, you should actually be in favour of it. It's a fully electric vehicle. It's a fully electric vehicle. It's a fully electric vehicle.
Semantics. I don't...
It's a fully...
No one's
Hold
listening
on,
to each
hold
other.
on. Rafs.
Is anyone listening to each other?
Rafs, breathe.